What if I told you that some of the most powerful muscle supporting foods are not sitting in the supplement aisle? What if the answer is something you walk past every single week at the grocery store? Something colorful, something inexpensive, something most people grab without a second thought about what it is actually doing inside their body. I know exactly what you were thinking. Fruit is just sugar. Fruit does not build muscle. You need protein to build muscle. And yes, protein is absolutely essential. Nobody is arguing that, but here's what most people fundamentally misunderstand about how muscle actually grows. Building muscle is not just about protein. Your muscles need a precise set of nutrients to contract forcefully, to recover from the stress of exercise, to repair damaged fibers, and to synthesize new protein into working tissue. Two nutrients in particular sit at the center of this entire process: potassium and vitamin C. Without adequate potassium, your muscles cannot generate the electrical signals required for contraction. This is not a metaphor. Every single time your muscle fibers fire, that action depends on the movement of potassium and sodium ions across cell membranes. When potassium levels fall, muscles weaken, cramp, and fatigue ahead of schedule. You can eat all the protein in the world, but if your muscles cannot contract efficiently, that protein has nowhere productive to go. Vitamin C is equally critical, and for a reason most people never hear about. Your body uses vitamin C as an essential cofactor in collagen synthesis. Collagen is a structural protein that forms a framework holding your muscle fibers together, connecting them to bone through tendons, and supporting every joint that moves when you train. Without adequate vitamin C, that scaffolding degrades. Muscles lose structural integrity, injury risk rises, and the entire architecture of force production begins to fail quietly from within. The right fruits deliver both of these nutrients alongside antioxidants that reduce the excessive inflammation that slows recovery, carbohydrates that fuel training and replenish depleted glycogen, and in some cases, specific enzymes and amino acids that directly support muscle repair. What follows is a ranked list of 7 fruits that do exactly this, along with the science that explains why each one earns its place. The kiwi is arguably the most underestimated fruit in the produce section. One medium kiwi provides approximately 64 milligrams of vitamin C, which covers more than 70% of the daily recommended intake from a single small fruit. Gram for gram, kiwi delivers more vitamin C than an orange. That vitamin C load matters directly for muscle health because of what vitamin C does to collagen. Collagen synthesis requires vitamin C as a coenzyme in the hydroxylation of proline and lysine, the 2 amino acids that give collagen its stable triple helix structure. Without this process, the connective tissue surrounding and supporting your muscle fibers cannot be properly maintained or repaired after training. Kiwi also contains a proteolytic enzyme called actinidin. Research published in the journal Molecular Nutrition and Food Research demonstrated that actinidin significantly enhances the digestion of several dietary proteins, including those from meat, fish, and dairy. For anyone eating high-protein meals to support muscle growth, this means the protein you consume alongside kiwi is broken down more completely and absorbed more efficiently. The nutrient you are already paying for simply goes further. The potassium content of a medium kiwi sits at around 215 milligrams, a meaningful contribution toward the 3,400 to 4,700 milligrams per day that active adults require for optimal muscle and nerve function. Add to this the folate that supports red blood cell production and oxygen delivery, and kiwi becomes a far more serious performance fruit than its modest appearance suggests. Eat 1 to 2 kiwis in the window after your workout. The vitamin C accelerates collagen repair, the potassium helps restore electrolyte balance lost through sweat, and the natural sugars begin replenishing the muscle glycogen your training depleted. Cantaloupe earns its place on this list through an impressive combination of electrolyte density and hydration that directly supports muscle performance. 1 cup of diced cantaloupe provides approximately 427 milligrams of potassium, a substantial amount from a fruit that is nearly 90% water. Very few foods deliver this level of potassium so effortlessly. During intense training, you lose potassium through sweat. This depletion does not announce itself with any dramatic warning. It shows up gradually as reduced force output, early cramping, and the kind of fatigue that feels disproportionate to the work being done. Restoring potassium through food is always preferable to relying on supplements, and cantaloupe makes that restoration almost effortless. The vitamin C content of 1 cup of cantaloupe sits at approximately 57 milligrams, close to the full daily requirement. This pairs with a remarkable beta-carotene concentration that vivid orange flesh is a reliable visual indicator of carotenoid density. 1 cup delivers over 2,000 micrograms of beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A. Vitamin A regulates gene expression related to muscle protein synthesis and supports the structural integrity of muscle cell membranes. Without adequate vitamin A, muscles cannot respond optimally to the anabolic signals that training produces. Cantaloupe also has a low glycemic load despite its natural sweetness, which means the sugars it contains are released gradually rather than in a sharp spike. This makes it a practical choice, both before training, where it provides sustained fuel, and after, where it replenishes glycogen without producing an excessive hormonal response. Papaya is genuinely exceptional for muscle recovery, and the reason comes down to a digestive enzyme called papain. Papain is a cysteine protease, a class of enzymes that breaks down peptide bonds within protein molecules, cleaving them into smaller peptides and free amino acids that the body can absorb and use. This is the same enzyme used in meat tenderizers because of how effectively it dismantles protein structure. For muscle building, this matters because the protein you eat only builds muscle if it is fully digested and the component amino acids successfully absorbed. Many adults, particularly as they age, experience declining digestive enzyme production, which can compromise protein utilization, even when intake is adequate on paper. Consuming papaya alongside or following a high protein meal effectively supplements your digestive capacity, allowing your body to extract more value from the protein you are already eating. 1 cup of papaya provides approximately 86 milligrams of vitamin C and around 360 milligrams of potassium. A larger papaya will naturally deliver proportionally more. The anti-inflammatory phytonutrients in papaya, including beta-carotene, lycopene, and various flavonoids, work together to reduce systemic inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the most significant barriers to consistent muscle recovery. When inflammation remains elevated between sessions, the window for protein synthesis narrows, and the overall pace of adaptation slows. Room temperature papaya is notably better for enzyme activity than cold papaya straight from the refrigerator. The papain enzyme is sensitive to temperature, and eating papaya chilled suppresses its activity. Allow it to sit at room temperature for at least 30 minutes before eating to ensure the enzyme arrives in your digestive system at full function. Watermelon holds a unique position on this list because of a compound most people have never heard of, L-citrulline. Watermelon is the richest whole food source of this non-essential amino acid, with the flesh providing approximately 150 milligrams per cup, and the white rind containing concentrations roughly 2 to 3 times higher. L-citrulline is converted in the kidneys into L-arginine, which is then used to synthesize nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals the smooth muscle cells lining blood vessel walls to relax, causing vasodilation and increased blood flow. For active muscles, this means more oxygen delivered, more nutrients arriving at the tissue that needs them, and more efficient removal of metabolic waste products, including lactate. The result is better endurance within a session and faster clearance of the byproducts that contribute to post-exercise soreness. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research examined the effects of watermelon juice consumption before exercise and found measurable reductions in muscle soreness 24 hours after training compared to control conditions. The mechanism runs directly through the citrulline to nitric oxide pathway described above. Watermelon is also 92% water, making it one of the most hydrating foods available. Even mild dehydration of 2% body weight has been shown to measurably impair strength output and cognitive performance during training. Eating watermelon is one of the most pleasant and efficient ways to arrive at a workout in a well-hydrated state. The potassium content of approximately 170 milligrams per cup is modest relative to other fruits on this list, but because watermelon is so easy to eat in quantity, 2 to 3 cups consumed before or after training becomes a genuinely significant electrolyte source. Do not discard the rind. If you blend watermelon, include the white portion near the peel where citrulline concentrations are highest. Avocado is botanically a fruit, and for muscle building purposes, it is one of the most nutrient-dense options available in any category of food. 1 medium avocado provides approximately 485 milligrams of potassium, a meaningful contribution toward daily requirements from a single serving. That potassium supports the electrical gradients that muscles depend on for forceful and efficient contraction. The more distinctive quality of avocado is its fat content. A medium avocado contains approximately 15 grams of monounsaturated fat, primarily in the form of oleic acid. These fats are not incidental to muscle building. They are structurally and hormonally essential to it. Dietary fat is required for the absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins D, E, K, and A. Vitamin D is critical for muscle strength and neuromuscular function. Research has consistently linked vitamin D insufficiency to reduce muscle force production and increase injury risk. Vitamin E protects cell membranes from the oxidative damage generated during resistance training. These vitamins cannot be absorbed without fat present in the digestive system at the time of consumption. And avocado provides exactly the type of fat that maximizes their uptake. Healthy fats also support the production of anabolic hormones, including testosterone and growth hormone, both of which drive muscle protein synthesis. Diets chronically low in fat have been associated with suppressed testosterone levels in men. Avocado is one of the most practical ways to ensure fat intake remains sufficient to support hormonal health without relying on saturated fat sources. One avocado also provides approximately 44 milligrams of magnesium, roughly 10% of the daily target for adults. Magnesium participates in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including those involved in ATP production and protein synthesis. It is also essential for muscle relaxation following contraction, which is why magnesium deficiency is one of the leading causes of nighttime cramping. 10 grams of fiber per avocado stabilizes blood sugar and prevents the cortisol spikes that accompany hypoglycemic dips, protecting muscle tissue from unnecessary catabolic pressure. Oranges are widely recognized as a source of vitamin C, but the muscle-building case for oranges goes considerably deeper than that single nutrient. One medium orange provides approximately 70 milligrams of vitamin C. What makes oranges particularly valuable is not the vitamin C alone, but the way it is delivered. Oranges contain a class of plant compounds called bioflavonoids, and one of them, hesperidin, has received significant research attention for its effects on vascular function. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that daily hesperidin consumption improved endothelial function and reduced inflammatory markers in adults. Improved endothelial function means more responsive blood vessels and better circulation, which translates directly to improved nutrient and oxygen delivery to working muscle tissue. Hesperidin also appears to work synergistically with vitamin C to enhance its bioavailability and extend its antioxidant effect. The combination is more effective than either compound in isolation, which is one reason whole orange consumption tends to outperform vitamin C supplements in studies measuring antioxidant outcomes. The potassium content of a medium orange sits at approximately 237 milligrams. The natural sugars total around 12 grams, and the 3 grams of dietary fiber present slow their absorption sufficiently to prevent the blood sugar spikes that would occur from an equivalent dose of refined sugar. Oranges provide thiamine, a B vitamin involved in the conversion of carbohydrates into the ATP that muscles burn during exercise, and folate, which supports the production of red blood cells that carry oxygen to contracting muscle fibers. The antioxidants in oranges, including vitamin C, hesperidin, and several other flavonoids, help manage the oxidative stress generated by resistance training. Some degree of this stress is necessary to signal adaptation and growth. But when oxidative damage exceeds the body's buffering capacity, recovery slows and protein synthesis is impaired. Regular orange consumption helps maintain the balance between enough stress to drive adaptation and too much to allow recovery. Bananas are the single most effective fruit for muscle building, and the reason is not marketing or habit. It is a combination of nutrients, timing flexibility, and practical convenience that no other fruit on this list can replicate simultaneously. One medium banana provides approximately 422 milligrams of potassium, roughly 9% of the daily target for most active adults. Potassium depletion during training is one of the most common and least acknowledged causes of performance decline. Muscles use potassium rapidly during intense contractions, and sweat losses compound the deficit. Restoring these levels quickly after exercise is essential for maintaining the electrical gradients that allow muscles to contract forcefully in subsequent sessions. Bananas do this better and more conveniently than almost any other food. The carbohydrate content of a medium banana sits at approximately 27 grams, and the composition of those carbohydrates changes with ripeness in a way that is directly useful for training. Unripe bananas with green peels contain a higher proportion of resistant starch, which digests slowly and delivers a gradual release of glucose. Ripe bananas with yellow peels and brown spots have converted much of that resistant starch into simple sugars, which absorb rapidly and replenish muscle glycogen efficiently in the window immediately following exercise. This means you can strategically choose your banana based on your timing. A less ripe banana an hour before training provides sustained energy without a blood sugar crash mid-session. A ripe banana immediately after training floods glycogen stores quickly and triggers the insulin response that helps shuttle amino acids from your post-workout protein into muscle tissue where they can be used for repair and synthesis. One medium banana provides approximately 0.43 milligrams of vitamin B6, covering around 25% of the daily target. Vitamin B6 is a cofactor in the metabolism of amino acids, including the transamination reactions that allow your body to convert dietary protein into the specific amino acid forms required for muscle protein synthesis. Eating bananas alongside protein-rich meals is not just a convenient pairing. It actively supports the metabolic processes that make that protein useful. Bananas also contain fructooligosaccharides, a type of prebiotic fiber that feeds beneficial bacteria in the gut. This matters for muscle building because gut health directly affects nutrient absorption. A healthy gut microbiome improves the uptake of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals. When the gut is dysbiotic or inflamed, nutrient absorption is compromised across the board, regardless of how well the diet is planned. The final point about bananas is the one most often dismissed as trivial, but is actually enormously important. They require no preparation, no refrigeration, no cutting, and no container. They come sealed in their own biodegradable packaging. The single greatest predictor of whether a nutritional habit sustains over time is how easy it is to execute consistently, especially on the days when you are tired, pressed for time, or have just finished a hard session. Bananas make the right choice, the effortless choice, and that consistency compounds into real results over months and years. The science of muscle building is not complicated, but it is frequently oversimplified. Protein matters enormously, but protein operates within a system. That system requires potassium to generate force, vitamin C to maintain connective tissue, antioxidants to manage recovery, carbohydrates to fuel performance, and in some cases, specific enzymes and vasodilatory compounds that no supplement label has ever thought to replicate. Kiwi, cantaloupe, papaya, watermelon, avocado, oranges, and bananas each contribute something distinct and documented to that system. None of them are exotic, none of them are expensive, all of them are available at any grocery store any week of the year. What separates the people who get consistent results from those who plateau is not the protein powder they choose. It is often the daily nutritional habits most people treat as afterthoughts. Add these fruits to your routine with some intelligence about timing. Eat around your training sessions, combine them with adequate protein, give your muscles not just the raw material for growth, but the full biological environment those raw materials require to actually work. That is what these 7 fruits provide, and that is why they belong in any serious approach to building and maintaining muscle. Understanding which fruits to eat is only half of the equation. The other half is when and how you integrate them into your daily nutrition. The nutrients discussed throughout this list are not all equivalent in terms of when they are most useful to your muscles. Potassium-rich fruits, including bananas, cantaloupe, and avocado, are most critical in 2 windows. In the 2 hours before training, when you want electrolyte stores topped up, and in the hour immediately after, when you are replacing what exercise depleted. If you train in the morning, eating a banana or a cup of cantaloupe as part of your breakfast ensures your muscles go into the session with the electrical resources they need. If you train in the evening, having avocado with dinner ensures overnight recovery is not compromised by electrolyte imbalance. Vitamin C-rich fruits, including kiwi, papaya, and oranges, are particularly valuable after training. The reason is collagen synthesis. Exercise creates micro damage to muscle fibers and connective tissue that must be repaired during recovery. The collagen synthesis that patches this damage requires vitamin C as an active participant in the enzymatic process. Consuming vitamin C-dense fruits within 2 hours of finishing a session ensures that the repair process has the cofactors it needs when demand for them is highest. Watermelon occupies a specific pre-workout role because of the citrulline to nitric oxide pathway. The vasodilation that nitric oxide produces takes time to develop. Eating 1 to 2 cups of watermelon approximately 60 to 90 minutes before training gives the citrulline time to be converted and for the resulting nitric oxide to enhance blood flow during your session rather than after it. Papaya is most useful when consumed alongside or shortly after a high-protein meal, precisely because that is when the papain enzyme can most efficiently enhance protein digestion and amino acid absorption. Pairing papaya with grilled chicken, fish, or a high-protein yogurt is not just a pleasant combination. It is a nutritional strategy. None of this requires elaborate meal planning. It requires understanding why these fruits work so you can position them intelligently relative to the biological processes they are designed to support. The body operates on timing as much as it operates on quantity, and small adjustments in when you eat these foods can meaningfully amplify what you get from them. Consistency over weeks and months matters far more than perfection on any single day. The athletes and individuals who build and maintain impressive muscle mass are not necessarily the ones following the most sophisticated program or taking the most supplements. They are the ones who execute the fundamentals, including fruit intake, hydration, and recovery nutrition reliably and repeatedly over time. The 7 fruits on this list make that consistency achievable without complexity, without expense, and without any dependency on products that expire or run out. Start with the ones you already enjoy, add the others progressively, give your muscles the full nutritional environment they need, not just the protein, and then watch what consistent training with consistent nutrition can actually produce.